My people have a saying. When you look at the sun, I'll send you good light. You want the good light.
When you say those words, Marisol, you hear it spoken in the Nahuatl language, in the voice of an old woman, right over your own words.
She pauses, hearing the actual words being said, and just freezes.
What? It's a nice saying.
Kem man tikonitas tonatua, kotsin slahwili nimitz makas. I just fucking heard that. But it wasn't me saying it. Okay, I don't know. I gotta focus. But yeah, that's a warrior proverb for when we die.
All right, cool. I don't know what's going on, but I guess it's just one of those heat of the moment things, battle time and everything. He peeks out around the corner.
Maybe I should go first.
Are you stepping out from cover?
Yeah.
The ship begins to tremor and rock again as that spot where Marina buried Avicii is now a pit of kind of smoldering metal and swirling chemicals. And you notice that the rain has begun to kick on, the rain system that keeps the trees and all the greenery alive. That bubbling pit has something that is rising up out of it. This green vapor starts to fill the room.
Stars in the obsidian sky were marooned on a small island in an endless sea, confined to a tiny spit of sand, unable to escape. But tonight, on this small planet, on Earth,
I know where this is going.
we're going to rock civilization.
And the empowered form of Avicii rises up out of the acid pit, flexing its mighty muscles, now completely distorted, shimmering with an ethereal, almost necrotic glow. Caustic energy is just wavering off of him. The greenery around him begins to dissolve, wither, and just blow away as he takes a step out of the pit and towards you, Marisol. This is more than he was when he got put in there. This is something else. He is rapidly changing.
Shit! She's stumbling backwards.
He sees that, and it excites him. He begins to slap the ground with his Tyson arms and just rush towards you, almost like a gorilla.
She's gonna take a water bottle out of like her pack and just do like a ripple bottle cap at him, but also just try to like splash the water.
Okay.
Sort of like a, you know, a 1-2 thing.
He just bursts right through it and dissolves the ripple and the bottle and the water. Everything about it just dissolves, explodes into vaporous green matter and energy that he just starts to absorb into his own body. So I take it that you're going to run. You can try to fight him right now, but the rain that's beginning to fall all around the jungle area is beginning to acidify. He is actually polluting the environment just by existing.
Is there a visible blank man around somewhere?
Sure.
She's gonna run towards that, take the like last bit of water in the bottle and splash it, even though it's probably a small amount.
Gonna turn it into water, so it starts to take on like a watery form, but it already looks like it's being polluted by the acid of Avicii.
She's going to clone it and then just have the clone run towards Avicii.
Well, I mean, he's gonna see it come to a halt and just slap out at it real quick with one of his Tyson arms.
Okay, that's fine. I guess it's gonna shatter shit.
It doesn't. It begins to transform into a pale, smiling, acid-leaking humanoid.
Whoa. She's gonna take her liquid-loaded whip and sort of like have it so that it's more like a nunchuck, and she's gonna beat the back of the blank starman, if that's even what that is. So sort of like push it towards Avicii just to see what it does.
When you slap it, it kind of like slams into him and begins to melt into him until he just completely absorbs it.
So she's getting a feel that this guy is going to be really hard to attack physically. You know what? She's just going to run for now. Fuck.
After he absorbs it, you watch his form kind of bubble for a second and then explode out with a just ring of vapor that begins to fill the room with a poisonous, noxious aura. I'm going to need you to roll a defensive stat so that you don't get swept up in this. Lewis is going to have to do the same, and Sugar Ray is going to have to do the same. Okay, and this is going to be his roll for that attack. None of you make it out of this. Jesus Christ.
Fuck.
Do you want to invoke an aspect to take less damage from this? Because with an 8, it's gonna cause you some serious pain.
She's gonna invoke someone should protect the earth because she has to stay alive and this fight's only just begun.
When you invoke that, you only take 3 physical stress, but there's something else that happens. You notice your stand, Glass and Patron, which has been out, I assume, because you're doing stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, your stand got hit with some of that acid and is beginning to melt. Part of its exterior has melted off. You don't feel the pain, but something happened to it.
Shit. She's sort of like panicking now and just considering attacking directly, even though she's assuming that she's just gonna go through him and get stuck. But she doesn't want to lead him towards the other two, so
Well, you're not the only one in the fight. So I will say this. You see a giant sheet of ice begin to form overhead like a canopy, kind of blocking off the acidic rain. And then Lewis steps out with his lightning gun from behind the tree and just fires off a bolt at Avicii. Avicii turns to face this as he sees it warming up. And it just strikes him kind of like dead center in the chest. But it doesn't seem to do damage. It just kind of stuns him for a moment. And the electricity kind of courses through his strangely volatile form, rippling through him, kind of distorting him as it does.
she's just gonna do a ripple whip attack just directly, the liquid loaded whip.
Your ripple's a +2, right? It's not a 0. So that'd be a 6. As he's being electrified, just whips one of his Tyson arms out and grabs it. Your whip kind of like in mid-flight before it can strike him. And he holds it there and kind of holds you there as he does this. I smell the blood of the ancient enemy coursing through your pathetic veins. And I think it wants to be let out. This begins his acid rain attack with his stunt Servant Solvent. It starts exactly as close as you are. The acid begins to pierce through the overhead cover and shoot down. You have to roll higher than a 4 to avoid the damage right now.
What he just called out, it did like remind her of her high concept that she is an out-of-line shaman's granddaughter, and she can't just like bitch out immediately to this guy.
Yeah, that's fine. And you take a +2, so you manage to, remembering what his words are not somehow in your mind. It's not wrong. There is something that is ancient and antagonistic about both of your bloodlines. So you're able to get out of the way of that first big ring of acid rain that begins to fall, but through the shimmering kind of destruction that it rains, through that sheet of acid, you can see the enemy. Like, this is the enemy. When that happens, the ice sheet that Sugar Ray had begun to create begins to collapse inward and crash against the incoming assault of the acid rain Avicii has summoned. Vapors are feeding off of him and into the weather control system of the Garden of the Stars. Right now, though, that huge ice sheet has created a divide between you and him. Lewis quickly runs to grab you by the arm and pull you away. We gotta go. If you kind of go with his lead, he'll run away. He uses his electricity gun to shoot any blank starmen that are in the way, and Sugar Ray quickly follows behind. Although he does stop to look back to see Avicii basically punching through the giant solid chunks of ice, kind of laughing as he does it and corroding it.
He's scarier than anything I've ever had to fight before.
Okay, for the rest of you, right now, it's a struggle to stay away from these blank starmen as they try to get to you and the people that you're carrying with you to keep safe. Tara, I'll say that your pig, you'll have to keep it safe from these blank starmen. If any of them touch it, it's going to be a problem. And I think even the pig would recognize that as it's intelligent enough.
Yeah.
But you are a swordsman, and as dangerous as this is kind of rock and roll. I mean, you're fighting aliens, there's acid everywhere, there's big muscly people, there's punching and kicking and explosions. As I recall, your character concept is you wanted to develop a rock and roll samurai thing.
Yeah.
Write down somewhere in your sheet that you'll, I guess, remember alien mothership battle or acid alien battle or something. It could come up later, but this is something that maybe you could incorporate into a style as inspiration. You've never seen anything like this, I'm guessing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
For the rest of you that aren't there, that aren't fighting Avicii currently, Jim, you were going to make your way. You have your Chaos Horse. You were going to make your way towards your friends. You would notice that throughout the sandy arena, it has become like full of blank starmen, like maybe 100 or so now.
Oh, good lord. He thinks he needs to get to where Avicii is, or at least where he last saw him at, so he's gonna try and ride around them.
Go ahead and give me a night roll. Damn, fantastic. As you ride around these blank starmen, they do reach out to try to grab your horse, but they can't. And then one that does actually gets a hold of your, it looks like they're going to try to get a hold of your horse's leg, like they're going to dive for it, but the horse just cuts right through it.
Oh, good.
Just obliterates it. If you're riding into that direction, you will see Lewis, Marisol, and Sugar Ray escaping out of a room that, like, right after them is kind of this very caustic green cloud that seems to be surging out of the ruins of the Garden of the Stars. Even just briefly looking in, you can see the vegetation is heavily wilted. Just muck. It looks like a surreal abstract painting of what a garden should be in there.
What is that? What's going on?
Marisol, what is it?
Jim! He's really strong. I don't know what to do.
Who? Avicii?
Do you not see that freak behind us? Yes.
What should we do? Jim, isn't sure what to do, but he draws his sword just in case.
Do you have a gun?
I still have the gun from earlier, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I do have a gun.
Try shooting him.
All right, I will do so.
And yeah, I'll say, Marina, that's cool. Setting up explosives, perfectly fine. Give me a roll for your gunsmanship. 4. So, as Avicii is walking out or climbing out of kind of the weird smoking pit that was the Garden of the Stars, he just catches... Where are you shooting him?
Right in the chest.
Yeah, he just catches that bullet right in the chest. And a very deep, baleful green glow surges out of his core, his center.
Well, I didn't really think that was going to work, but I suppose it was worth trying.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Yeah, he is.
We're gonna need a lot of firepower, I think. Maybe if we can overwhelm him, right?
Maybe, but I think we should get the others if we're going to try that.
Yeah, so at the moment we're just kind of running. He wants to play hide and seek, which, whatever, he likes games. Really trying not to get tagged by him, though.
All right. Do you know where the others are?
No, we all kind of scrambled when he announced it was hide and seek.
Let's see. Where should we meet? Maybe I can ride around him and find the others.
You can ride to start to scout. These blank starmen are going to be in the way, but it looks like your horse is actually too weird for them to absorb, or at least in their current form, they can't do that. It's too chaotic. You can ride around to try to rally your friends wherever you find them. Marina is doing her tunneling thing to set up explosives, and Kev Kavan is there. He's shown up in the arena. It looks like he is taking to his former duty of beating up any blank starmen that approach him. He's just kind of killing them as quickly as they come, but the numbers are way higher than they were before. You can just hear him in the distance going, "Yeah, get some!"
Of course.